So this is what I got yesterday from Wallpaper Direct, embossed paintable wallpaper. And so now I'm going to open it and see. I got 2 rolls because I wanted to make the most of postage. If I'd have bought 2 rolls separately, it would have costed twice the amount in postage. So, well, and this is the one I've been wanting to get for a long time. It's so pretty, and I do have a sample of this, so I did know exactly what it was. And this one was different. This was a bit different to what I would normally go for. I like the florals, but I didn't want to get anything really floral because I thought it would just look too much the same as this. So I got a different type of one. But yes, I'll be using this one today. Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's Danny here from the Gold Coast in Australia, and today I'll be making over these 2 little bedside tables. I bought them from the Facebook Marketplace. They were $25 for 2, and they were a bit worse for wear, as they normally are when you buy them for that price, because I thought that was a really good price actually for 2 of them. Matching set. I sort of swore to myself that I wouldn't get single ones anymore. I'd try to get double because they sell a lot better. So as usual, I'm going to sand the top of these. So I started off with an 80 grit sandpaper, but that didn't get me too far. I switched that up to a 60 grit, and that got through it a little bit better. It made the process a bit quicker. It's after a lot of sanding, and I've run out of sanding pads, so I'm going to have to buy some more. Using 60 grit, I just did 80 grit, but I'm going to use the 60 grit again because a lot of the stain is in the grain, and I've got to get it out. So this is taking longer than I thought. I decided to try to scrape a bit of the top coat off because I was thinking maybe that's why it was so hard to sand back, and I don't strip things, I just will sand them back, so I have however long it takes to do that. This isn't a carbide scraper, and I'd really like to buy one of those. It's just like a normal sort of scraper, and I just got it from Choices, so it was pretty cheap, but I am getting something off here, and I think it might be a wax type of thing, or it could be like a varnish, I'm not sure. It did take me a while to sand these back. I think it's oak actually. I think this wood is oak, and it was ultra hard, and I think that's one of the reasons too. If the wood's softer like pine, it's a bit easier to sand. But the next step will be to take off the handles and to fill in the holes, and I actually bought a new wood filler. Well, it's not completely just a wood filler, it's a general purpose filler, so you can use it on a lot of different things, and it's for internal and external. And I was really pleased with it actually, because I've sort of been trying to find a good wood filler, and this one I think I found it. I think I'll be using this one from now on because it's really easy to use. So here, while I'm waiting for the wood filler to dry, I'm measuring the front of the drawers, and I'm measuring the sides of each of the drawers. I'm measuring actually each of them because even though one might be a certain size, you sort of can't assume that they're all exactly the same. As it turned out here, they were actually exactly the same, so that was good. But yeah, I always measure each of them individually just in case there's a bit of variation. I use sugar soap to go over it all, and they actually recommend sugar soap to clean your walls off before painting as well, so it does remove a lot of the dirt and grime on your walls, and I assume it's the same on the furniture, would remove a lot of that too. But even after doing that, you see on this rag there is a lot of sort of dirt residue still there, and I guess that's just taking it off. And I normally, after I've washed it with the sugar soap, I will spray it with water and wipe it over as well. But now I'm applying the PVA glue to the front of the drawer, because this is how I apply my 3D or embossed wallpaper to my furniture. And this is only the second time I've done it actually. First time was on a smaller little piece, and I just had a tiny bit of wallpaper that I applied. So this is the first time I've done it on drawer fronts, so it's a bit of an experiment at this point. And I'm applying the wallpaper again to the side of the piece, making sure that I cover everything completely with the glue. So right to the top, right to the bottom, and right in the corners along the edge as well, just so there is no chance of the wallpaper lifting or peeling off. So it's the next morning and it's all dry and it looks really good. When measuring, it is hard to get exact on anything because nothing particularly is square and you may make a mistake when cutting. This overlaps a tiny little bit. You can see it sort of overlaps. So what I'm going to do is just by hand gently sand the edge so it sort of merges into the wood and it all looks like it's one. At the moment it sort of looks like something stuck on there, and I'm just scared that if someone grabs it, it might sort of peel back at some point. So I'm going to sand it sort of into the wood so that it looks like it's all part of it. Let's see how I always tape off my pieces before I paint them because I tend to be messy, and also you don't have to worry then too much about when you're painting, you know, trying to be precise on the edges and that sort of thing. And it takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it in the end, because once you start painting you can just go for it then. Zinza 123. It's an undercoat primer, sealer and stain blocker, and I never used to use it, but you know, I have. Now I've started selling pieces. I do that just to be certain that the paint will adhere properly, and also that it will be easier to put on, especially a light color over this dark color. You know, it will take so many coats to cover that. The first few coats though of undercoat, I put 2 on normally, and it looks horrible. It looks absolutely horrible after I've done that, but it will improve, of course, once the paint goes on. I noticed there was a bit of a crack there, so I'm just filling that in and sanding it before I start to put the actual paint on. And as usual, I've got my mist tint jars for $2, and to that I add some talcum powder to make chalk paint. I will normally do 2-to-1 ratio, so 2 parts paint, 1 part talcum powder, and I really love the consistency of it, and it goes on really smoothly and covers really well. I've had a few bites, but it's yummy. It's avocado, scrambled eggs, with a bit of milk, salt, parmesan cheese. Jaws are a bit annoying to paint, to be honest, by hand anyway, with a brush. If I had sprayed this on, it would have been a lot better, but I don't spray. I've only actually ever sprayed one piece because I just don't have the setup for it. I'd have to spray outside, and if there's a bit of wind, it's just, you know, a nightmare. Paint gets on everything. But you can see there's so many edges, and because it had a shelf underneath, yeah, it was just a bit of annoying sort of piece to paint. After each coat of paint and after the primer as well, I actually sanded back a little bit too, to make sure that the surface was nice and smooth and to get rid of any little lumps and bumps. I think I put 2 coats of primer and 3 coats of paint on, and now I'm just putting new floor protectors on the base to protect the floor of the people who are going to buy it, but also it makes it nice and solid when it's on the ground, and it looks nice too. And that's Sophie saying hi. It's so satisfying to peel the tape off, but sometimes it just doesn't come off cleanly. And I actually got my little Cricut weeding tool out to help me get this off. Also, even though you tape, sometimes you'll get a bit of paint bleeding through there, and I always do. This always happens to me, but it's easy enough to just quickly go over it and sand back. I'm measuring the front of the drawer again because I want to make a template to apply the handle. So I'm just making a template out of some baking paper, and I'm going to find the center piece of this, and that will be my template for all 4 drawers, so I can mark the exact middle. So all I do is, once I've cut out the exact size of the drawer at the front, I fold it twice, and that will give me the exact middle, and that's what I use just to mark the front of each of the drawers. So this drawer had a front on it and also a back behind it. So with the Kmart little handles that I'm putting on this, they're such pretty little gold handles, and I've had my eye on these for a while, and this piece was perfect to use them with. But the screws that come with these handles on drawer knobs are very short, so to get through both panels there I needed something longer, and I thought I would get some longer screws. So I got these from Bunnings. I think one pack of 12 was $2, and yeah, and then you snap them off where you need them. When I snapped them off though, it was quite rough at the end. This was before I'd snapped it off, and it actually wouldn't screw in properly, so I thought I'm not going to use them. What I'm going to do is do what they've done here. They've recessed when they've screwed the actual front of the drawer on, so I thought I would drill in and then I would recess the hole at the back so that the screw would actually go through and to the other side of the drawer and it would fit. Time to wax, and I'm using my Glitz beeswax. I've never actually waxed wood that I hadn't whitewashed before, and I sort of panicked a bit when I did because it actually did change the color of the top of this, which I didn't want it to. The thing with using this beeswax is you also wet the rag, so I was thinking at this point that maybe because the rag was wet it was making it look darker, but it did dry out a little bit lighter. That's the difference. So the first one was a wax. That's what it looked like before I'd waxed it. So I really did like that color of before, but anyway, what can you do? It was too late. And I actually did wax over the paper as well to give it some protection, and I waxed the rest of the piece. Thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I really hope you enjoy it. Funnily enough, it doesn't come up as well as it actually looks in real life. It's hard to get the exact look of the embossing, and the whole effect isn't as good as real life, but you will get the idea. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you guys in next week's video. Bye for now. Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's Danny here from our humble home on the